Tell you something about basic training of sport horses. And what I learned is that the most important thing is that you realize that your horse is really a multi-talent. Don't specialize too early. Not the rider and not the horse. If we have looked in earlier days, all the old school masters or the generals from the military, wherever they come from, they all had to do dressage, jumping, cross country, everything. So if you look in the history, it was totally normal for them that they don't specialize. But then there came a modern time where you went to the auction and heard this 3-year-old horse is a dressage horse. Nobody knew if he can jump or had jumped him before. And the same with the riders. If the riders have done everything from the beginning, they have a much better feeling for the horse, much better seat, and really have a chance one day to say, I tried it all, but I prefer this. It's very important that step by step you do exercises to build up the muscles, that they are healthy. They always must have the willing attitude because they feel good, and then they are ready for the next adventure. If it's an eventer who has to jump in a boat in the water, over a boat in the water, or the 3-year-old youngster where he just has trust forward, the willingness to go, ready what we are doing today. And the most important phase is the warm-up. Only if the horse really is active from behind, over the back, stretching into your hand, neck downwards, and then the back is so loose and swinging that the horse is ready to work. And then later he can carry it, because the same muscles we stretch, we later strengthen, that the self-carriage can be proved while you give with your reins to see, oh, will he stay there alone, or does he still want some contact and wants help from my hand? No, it's his job. He must carry himself. Our 4-year-old horse from Kathy and the 6-year-old horse from Rebecca are not warmed up. So while we are talking a bit about cavaletti work, we give them the chance in walk that they just get the horses used to the atmosphere, that they see that here are now some poles and some cavaletti. Because I think the most interesting thing is how would we start with the horse in the warm-up phase and work in the warm-up phase with cavaletti. I don't know who of you has already experienced with cavaletti, and so we thought that we start from the beginning. It's very important that you have the right material. So this is a good example of material. I prefer cavalettis who have a wooden pole. Wooden pole because it's the same education like in jumping. When a horse hits a pole in jumping, they know it hurts and they will react. And horses educate themselves. It's much more important that they learn their jobs. So when they hit them, they must know, oh, I have to watch out, look exactly where I put my feet on. Same like in jumping, if they hit the rail, they must know, oh, next time I have to be a little bit more careful. If this is plastic or metal material, which makes a loud noise, then they get a bit afraid. The ends must stuck in a block, and the best is the block if it is fixed in a block. This one can go around and is loose. So the best thing is if you have an end what is definitely fixed. Otherwise, you will see later, we have now 2 helpers here who will help me. But you, I guess at home, not always have 2 helpers who are ready to work with cavalettis. So if you have a cavaletti where both ends are fixed, then you can turn them around, make them a little higher, or put them in another direction, and it's easy to do it yourself. You have 3 varieties of height. Important is, the first question is, why do you use a pole on the ground? It's much easier, you wouldn't need the block on the side, but this block on the side hinders that the pole can roll away. And if you put a few poles in a row and it would roll in front of the horse's legs, then the horse has no chance to really do his job properly. So this is much more dangerous. I always take a pole which is really fixed. And at home I have them always on a curved line, because we will see later in the next group, if the horses get used to it, you have them on the curved line and have all varieties to use it for the warm-up or later in your working phase. The good thing is that you can build up muscles. If a horse has a hind leg, what is normally really going through the sand, not really lift their hind feet high under the center of gravity, then you can't get the motor, the hind end, stronger. And the stronger the horse is from the back muscles, from the hind muscles, the more healthy he will stay. So this is another chance for trying consequently consistent training to strengthen their joints and to build up some muscles. The other thing is, you could go on a hill, do this. So one time we do hill work, one time we do cavaletti. But the most important thing is that you really do it not every 4 weeks and then for a full hour in walk, trot, canter, because then your horse will be so muscle sore that he sees a cavaletti and will not be happy to work over it. You must really take it in your daily work, what means 3 times a week, and then gradually, step by step, do a little bit more. We have here now the 2 horses who first walked around. For me, it's very important that you really take enough time in the beginning for the walk. Really take the buckle and let them walk around, let them first come out of the barn. Now we take the buckle and start walking again. And really take the buckle, let them look around. Now they get used to the atmosphere, so they can stretch their neck. They can watch already what is over there and what is over here, and just relax. In the beginning, they were quite funny. We didn't know if they would maybe back off, or now like with Casey, she has a safety seat and knows she is 4 years old and hasn't seen that so often. So you must make sure that then you take long reins, as long as possible, contact to make them round, and always make sure you give. Like Casey can do it, you take the long back on the buckle, Rebecca, and Casey take a little bit contact. So we show your arms. Now look at her elbows. She goes with her elbows and really let that neck movement out. So she has contact to tell her stretch down, but if there would be something dangerous that she would now jump away, she at least has quick control and is right there. Important is that you do this, because then the neck gets stretched down, she can use this neck movement for a big walk step. If she would just put her reins there, keep her mobile phone, and don't walk forward, then very quickly you will realize that this good walk from the mare can be only weaker. The walk the horses have from nature, the quality of walk. We can't really do very much to improve it. The trot we can improve, yes, but with the walk we must always try to keep it as good as it is. And we must make sure all these things like pacing, like walking short, long, this all happens often while something was wrong in the education. So try to keep this best quality of walk, what means the rider is responsible to walk really forward. So really energetic forward, that the step is as big as possible, and let the neck out. So you start now over the first pole. So he has a chance to watch now. Good. And right away, don't worry, step over it.